This is everything you need to know about the DJI Osmo Pocket 4, including how this camera works, how to get the most out of it, and if it's worth upgrading from the Pocket 3. The Pocket 4 has just released, and it keeps all the main features that made the Osmo Pocket 3 so popular as an unobtrusive, small camera with a stable gimbal to film with that I've been using for the past few years, while also introducing some upgrades like a new high-resolution 1-inch type sensor with 14 stops of dynamic range, internal storage, a new magnetic accessory mount, and improved photo mode. And thank you to DJI for sponsoring this video. This is not a review of the camera. I'm going to show you how to use it to get the best results, along with lots of sample footage from outdoors to indoors and low light. I want to start by showing you how to use the Pocket 4 because there are new buttons and shortcuts. First of all, the 4 has a new joystick which feels easier to move around. If you gently push the joystick, you can do slow panning, and if you push it more, the gimbal movement will speed up. When you turn the camera on, you can triple press the joystick to flip the camera to film yourself. You can use the joystick to move the camera around in any direction, and you can double press the joystick to get it back to the center again. The 4 has the same 20mm lens as the 3, which I find is a great focal length for vlogging. So this is what the camera looks like with your arm fully outstretched when you're vlogging. You can see quite a wide shot, which is great. And if your arm gets a little bit tired and you like having it closer to your body, this is what that looks like as well. There are 2 new buttons. On the left is the zoom toggle button. If you press it once, it'll zoom to 2 times, pressing it twice will zoom to 4 times, and pressing it once will take it back to 1 times. So we're starting off at 1 times, and now I'm gonna zoom into 2 times, and I'll hold it there for a little bit. You'll notice how stable the footage looks, even as I'm talking and moving around just a little bit. And then I'm also gonna zoom into 4 times so we can take a look at that. And again, you'll see how stable the gimbal is. Again, I'm talking a little bit, so like my hand's moving a little bit, but the footage is so still. On the right is the custom button, which I've set to press once to be able to switch between photo and video mode. If you long hold, you can customize what this button does. Aside from the buttons, most of your main controls you can access through the touchscreen. So swiping down is to get to the main menu, swiping left is where you can find your main camera settings like exposure and color profiles, swiping up is for resolution and frame rates, and swiping right is for playback. And I'll be showing you all the best settings to choose in a moment. You can also tap on a few things on the screen, including the icon in the bottom left to switch between camera modes, and the icon in the middle left is for tracking and framing settings, which I want to show you next because this is something I use a lot. And you can now register faces and turn on registered subject priority mode so the camera automatically follows selected people. It's especially helpful if you're filming in busy environments or with multiple people in the frame. So we're going to test out face auto detect. I'm going to add a subject. So that's me. You can add more than one, but I'm just gonna add myself for now. I'm gonna hit start, and then as soon as I press record, it should start tracking my face. You can also control the camera using hand gestures, so doing this starts face tracking, and then doing this starts recording. Let me show you my settings. First, I always film in 4K 25 frames per second if I'm talking to the camera, or 50 FPS if I'm getting B-roll, so I have the option to change it to slow-mo while I'm editing. I set my white balance to auto and make sure my focus mode is on continuous. Looking at the back of the screen, it does a really good job with auto white balance. It's quite warm in here because of the lighting, but my skin looks really good, like my skin tones. And it's balanced nicely with the ambient light. The matcha is really good, by the way, but it's tiny. That was like 3 sips and it's pretty much gone. Next, these are some camera settings I like to change to make sure I'm getting the best quality footage. I make sure my shutter speed is set to double my frame rate for smooth looking motion in my footage because using faster shutter speeds can make your footage look jittery. Since I shoot at 50 FPS, I set my shutter speed to 1/100. In order to be able to shoot with a slow shutter speed, you'll want to use ND filters, which are basically sunglasses for your lens. I have both variable and non-variable ND filters, and I actually bought this pack separately for my Osmo Pocket 3, so yes, accessories that you have for your Pocket 3 will still work on the Pocket 4 if you choose to upgrade. My next tip is using auto ISO. Since I want to keep my shutter speed locked at 1/100, I let the Osmo choose the ISO for me. That way, as I'm moving around, vlogging, going from shade to sun or indoors to outdoors, the camera will take care of exposure and I don't have to constantly stop and change settings. I want to film some clips indoors for you as well. There is a little bit of natural light from the skylight there, but it is quite dark in here at the same time. Rather than picking a single ISO, I instead set it to an ISO range, so typically around 50 to 400 or up to 1600. I avoid leaving it at the maximum range if I don't have to, because the higher your ISO, the more noise you'll see in your footage, so capping the range helps keep your video looking clean. If it gets too dark, I change to a lighter ND filter or completely remove it. You also have the option to film in low light mode, which is what I'm using here to capture this footage. Finally, I like to film in both standard picture profile and D-Log. Standard profile is great if you want your footage ready to go. You can transfer it to your phone and it's ready to post then and there. Otherwise, if you're like me and prefer color grading for more dedicated vlogging and filming, then D-Log is a great option. This means you'll be able to push and pull your shadows and highlights more, as well as the colors, to get them looking exactly how you want. Throughout this video, I'll be sharing examples of both color profiles, and I'll label which one is which so you can see them both in different lighting scenarios. This is everything that comes in the box when you get the Creator Combo. Something I want to talk about is the new magnetic fill light that comes with the combo that attaches like this and moves around in the same direction as the camera. While we're indoors, I want to test out the fill light that comes with the Pocket 4, so I've set a shortcut where I double press C to turn it on. There's two buttons at the top of the light. One of them cycles through the strength of the light, so this is the dimmest, this is medium, and this is the highest. And you've also got a button that cycles through the temperature of the light. So that's the coolest, that's the warmest, and this is in between. The sun has just set, so I also want to show you what the light looks like when it's a lot darker. So this is with it on, and this is with it off. So I'm going to switch it back on, and I also want to show you the settings that we have. So this is with the weakest, medium, strongest setting, and this is with it at the coolest setting, the warmest setting, and an in-between warmth, which is what I was filming on. In the combo, you also get the DJI Mic 3, which you can use to record 32-bit audio. So let's listen to both the Pocket Mic and Mic 3 out on location. Right now, you're listening to the microphone of the Pocket 4. I have it switched to stereo front and back, so you should be able to hear me very clearly.
And I'm standing behind the camera and you should hear me clearly.
You're still listening to the internal microphone of the Pocket 4, but this time I've switched it over to a new feature called spatial audio. So again, I'm talking to the front of the camera.
And I'm talking at the back of the camera. You should hear both of us clearly.
Yes, and this will be more prominent if you're listening to us on headphones, and both Dan and I are standing pretty much the same distance away from the camera. I also want to show you what the DJI Mic 3 sounds like. So this comes with the Pocket 4, and it's a great option if you like filming a bit further away from the camera, because I'm super far away, but I don't have to yell and you can still hear me clearly. And this is with noise reduction switched off. So this is the Mic 3 again, but this time we have noise reduction switched to high. We have a fairy sound, which was happening in the last clip and this clip as well, and there's quite a lot of birds too. So we'll see if my voice changes and how much it cuts through to. Now, if you're wondering whether you should upgrade from the Pocket 3 or what the differences between the 3 and 4 are, I filmed some comparison footage for you to take a look at. The biggest difference you're going to notice is the Pocket 4 has a new sensor and more dynamic range, so you'll be able to see more highlights and shadows in the footage, and it'll be easier to get balanced exposure in more scenes. The Pocket 4 is able to film in up to 4K 240 FPS, whereas the 3 goes up to 4K 120 FPS. Both cameras are still using the same lens, and they both weigh roughly the same. A few other upgrades we're seeing in the Pocket 4 include photo mode, where we can shoot up to 37 megapixel photos compared to the original 9.4 megapixels. To access this, you need to switch to photo mode, then swipe up and select super photo mode. You can really see the upgraded sensor in this comparison photo, so keep an eye on the background and the shadows just here. You can see all the details in the Pocket 4 photo. I also like the overall warmer look to the colors. I shot both these photos with auto white balance. I also noticed there's a new live photo mode similar to what you get on a phone, so it gets a short 3-second video alongside each photo you take. The Pocket 4 has improved ActiveTrack, including being able to use it while you're in 2x zoom. 2x is the same lossless zoom as you get in the Pocket 3, the update here being there is now 4x digital zoom if you need some extra reach. The 4 has updated D-Log, which I used a lot while filming, but if you don't like color grading your footage, it does also have 6 new film tones which burn into your footage. So I'm going to be testing out every single one and I'll show you what it looks like. Right here we have a pretty backlit scene to look at. We have CC film, NC film, pastel, warm tone, movie, and retro. There's also a new ability to create slow shutter videos with shutter speeds all the way down to 1/4 seconds. You can use App Glamour Effect on both cameras, but the 4 now also has built-in beauty filters, which is known as Beautify. This makes it so much easier as you don't need to export clips from your phone with beauty effects like skin smoothing, for example. Now you can have this burn into your footage in the Pocket 4. Finally, for upgrades, the Pocket 4 has 107 gigabytes of internal storage, which I absolutely love, and I have been using it every time I film. We also have better battery life now. There's also upgraded USB 3 and improved transfer speeds. The Pocket 3 has been such a great camera for me to use over the past couple of years for unobtrusive vlogging and getting social media content. The Pocket 4 is an extension of that with some really nice quality of life improvements, hardware, and image quality upgrades. Let me know what you think about it in the comments.